Hi, this is Verl Workman, and welcome to BAM! That's right, it's Buyer Agent Mastery session on business planning. Well, you've heard it said before that for a ship bound for no harbor, no wind is favorable. What that means is, if you don't know where it is you want to go, how will you actually know when you get there? Not having a business plan as a buyer's agent is kind of like talking to your GPS on your smartphone and saying something like this: okay, Google, take me to a restaurant. And when you have in mind you want something specific like Thai food, or you want a certain street that only accepts reservations, you say to your GPS, just take me somewhere to eat. How does the GPS know exactly where it is you want to go unless you're really specific with what that destination is? The whole concept behind building a successful, effective business plan is breaking down what it is you want, where it is you want to go, and then figure out the exact roadmap and the tasks that are going to be necessary to help get you there. Now, each of you should have received a link to download the Business Plan Workbook. The Business Plan Workbook looks just like you're seeing on the screen behind me. The Business Plan Workbook, you'll be able to take and complete your entire business plan from start to finish. So let's go through the plan page by page, and I'm going to show you exactly what needs to be done on your Business Plan Workbook. I want you to start by finding the page called SWOT Analysis, S-W-O-T. Now, the reason I have you start with a SWOT analysis is because that helps you identify what your strengths are, where your weaknesses are in business, the opportunities that you're currently not taking advantage of, and possible threats. Then we can go into building your core values, your mission statement, and breaking down your income goals, your marketing plan, daily activities, and then, of course, one of the most important pages you'll notice is the action plan worksheet. So let's begin with the SWOT. The SWOT analysis, if you've never done one before, is often taught in MBA schools or business schools, where they teach future business leaders how to understand the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in any venture they go into. As an entrepreneur, I do a SWOT analysis all the time. Matter of fact, we do them several times a year. We do them when we're taking on a new project, or when we're opening up a new company, or deciding whether or not to take on a new coaching client or a new technology. This is a very powerful tool in helping you really think through each business opportunity that you're presented with. The SWOT analysis works like this. On your SWOT analysis, the first page of your SWOT analysis is the description or the instructions that show you exactly what you need to do with your SWOT. So after this video, you can go back and you can reference the instruction page. The second page is what I'm going to focus on during this class. It looks like this. There's 4 quadrants on your SWOT analysis. And this is both available to you. You can get it either in a PDF, where you can fill it out online, or you can print it and just fill it out by hand. Either way, it doesn't matter to me. The important thing is that you actually do it. So the SWOT analysis actually works like this. On the top left-hand corner, it says strengths. Above the word strengths, I want you to take your pen, I want you to write in the word internal. That means that these are strengths that are internal to you. Above the word opportunities on the top right hand, I want you to write the word external. These are external things that are not directly related to you, but they affect your business, so you need to be aware of them. All right, so let's begin with strengths. So I want you to brainstorm all of the things that you believe are your strengths. What is that makes you different? What is your unfair competitive advantage? What's your unique selling advantage? What are the things that other people might say are that you're really good at? I like to say, what do I do best? If somebody asked you, what makes you unique? What's your elevator pitch? What's the 30 seconds that you give them on why they should do business with you? Another way to ask the question is, what would my raving fans or my closest friends or my past clients say are my strengths? Okay, so let me just throw some of the things out that you may include in your strengths. Strengths could be things like attention to detail. I'm a strong negotiator. I have a large sphere of influence or a lot of past clients. I have my contact management or my database really dialed in. I have automated systems and processes. I have a team. I'm really technology savvy. My experience in real estate, 25 years in real estate, or my knowledge of the market. I've grown up here. I lived here my whole life. A financial resource. I have the ability to invest. So I'm a strong and fair negotiator. We talked about your database, great marketing skills, a lot of influence, or I'm involved in the community. My experience outside of real estate or my past jobs that have allowed me to be more of a business savvy person. I want you to take a few minutes right now, and I want you to list all of your strengths, and you should be able to fill in all of these boxes. So fill out all of the strengths that you think. And then I want you to pause. So right now, click pause on the tape, pause on your screen, and take a second and fill out your strengths. So you finished your strengths. You should be feeling really good about yourself right now because you've identified all the things that make you awesome, all the things that make you great. Now we have to take a minute and we have to get real personal. We have to deal with your weaknesses. What are the things that you not only don't like to do, but you're not very good at? What are the things that are your weaknesses? Now remember, this is under the internal piece, so we're talking about things that are internal to you. So if you were to ask me, hey, Averill, what are your weaknesses? Well, I'm pretty self-aware, man. I'll share with you my weaknesses. Attention to detail. I don't like the details. Inability to do the books or anything that has to do with the financials. I don't like doing that part of the business, doing the accounting. Other weaknesses might include your technology savvy. Or, technology savvy is kind of interesting because you might have put it on your strengths because you're good at technology, but when I look at what you're doing today, I might list it as a weakness because you spend way too much time with your technology because that's where you're comfortable. Other weaknesses I hear a lot are fear of rejection, or how about fear of prospecting, or I don't have a sphere of influence. Other weaknesses could be I'm afraid of picking up the phone. I don't like making that first call. I don't know anybody in the area. Don't put I don't like anybody. That would be a bad weakness for you to have on your SWOT analysis, because if you don't like people, you're probably in the wrong business. I don't have any money, or there's no financial resources, so I can't invest at all. I'm new to real estate is a weakness, but it's also a strength because we can train you correctly from the beginning. Here's a big one: time management. I don't have enough time to do things I know I should do. How about I don't know the market very well, or I'm not comfortable with the inventory. I don't know how to do a contract. I want you to go through and take a minute and list all of your weaknesses. And one of the things I'd like you to do is I'd like you to pause for a second, and I'd like you to think, what would my spouse say are my weaknesses? Let's pause the video one more time, take a minute, fill out the weaknesses section of your SWOT analysis. All right, now I've broken you down. All your weaknesses are now clear. You've kind of reached into your soul and into your gut to determine what are the things you're not good at, or what are the things that you identify as weaknesses in your business. Now I want to focus on some upside again. I want you to go to the top right-hand side of your SWOT analysis, and we're going to look at opportunities. Now let me define opportunities for you. Opportunities are things that you're currently not doing in your business, and if you did, they would make a difference to your income. I want you to keep in mind that just because you're writing the opportunity down doesn't mean you're going to do it. I just want you to throw out all the ideas you can think of as opportunities so that we can determine which ones you're actually going to focus on. So let's take a second now and let's identify opportunities. Let's begin with things like internet leads, working for sell-by owners or expired listings. You could work with divorce attorneys. There's geographic farming. You're farming your sphere of influence. We could go door knocking. There's probate attorneys. There's opportunities with new construction, working with builders, buyer leads that come from your IVR system or your call capture system. There's high volume lead generation systems. We have our past clients, which is another sort of like farm. You could work your church groups or your networking groups. You could attend home and garden shows and display there. There's referrals from other agents. You could focus on working and building your luxury home marketing plan. There's also working with bank-owned properties or REOs, or becoming a short sell expert. I mean, the list goes on and on. There's no limit to the number of things that we could do that are true opportunities in our business. What I'm going to have you do later in your business plan is I'm going to have you look at your opportunities sheet, and I'm going to have you identify 4 specific pillars that you're going to focus on 99% of your time. We're not going to do that right now. Certainly not going to do all 12. But I want you to identify all the opportunities you see. So let's take just a moment. Let's pause. Let's fill out your opportunities section of the SWOT analysis. All right, now the last section of your SWOT analysis in the bottom right-hand corner is called threats. Threats are things that you need to be aware of that have the ability to affect your income, but you don't necessarily have the ability to control. So what are the things that you would consider are your threats in business? The threat of a pending war, or we're right in an election year, or a new party coming into power. Threat could be an excess inventory or not enough inventory. It could be increasing interest rates on mortgages. We could have a mortgage scandal or a mortgage crisis. Threats are things that you can't control, but you need to be aware of. They don't require any action on your part, but we need to make sure you build your business plan understanding strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities that exist, and the possible threats to your income and to your business that will affect you. So now you've finished your SWOT analysis. The question I have for all of you is, what do you think you're going to do with it next? First of all, I want you to take a look at the things that are strengths, and I want you to ask yourself, okay, I know I'm good at these things. How can I utilize my strengths to take advantage of the opportunities that I've identified? So utilizing my strengths, how do they align up with the opportunities? That's kind of an interesting thought. And then I want you to break it down and pick the 4 opportunities you like the best and align them with your strengths. I want you to identify your strengths, opportunities, tie them together, align them with just the 4. Each opportunity will have to be built to be accomplished in order to be able to accomplish 100% of your income goal. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to look at your weaknesses. Yeah, that's right. I want you to look at your weaknesses. If they're weaknesses to you and they're experience related, meaning I don't have a lot of experience in a certain area, then I want you to put in your business plan activities that will help you gain experience. If there are things you're just not very good at, now this is going to be a fun part. When you look at your weaknesses, what I like to do when I look at my weaknesses, I look at my weaknesses, I go, oh my gosh, that list is big. What should you do with your weaknesses? I know a lot of you are going to say, I know what I should do. I should set a goal to make them be my strengths. Well, I don't think so. I think what you ought to do is set a goal not to do them. You need to outsource them to someone else who actually loves those activities. If they're your weaknesses, look, you already suck at it, so why focus on it? Why not just outsource it or delegate it? Why not just give it to somebody else? So if it's an experience-related weakness, then you gain the experience. If it's a weakness related to something that's not in your profile, meaning your attention to detail or your accounting or your paperwork, then you need to find somebody else that does that for you. You're going to see that there are a lot of ways to make your weaknesses become strengths. You can shadow your team leader. You can go out with your lead buyer's agent, or you can go out with other successful agents in the office. There's no substitute for experience. I want to follow a very specific process on making weaknesses become strengths in areas that are education related. But if they're personality issues, remember what we talked about, I want you to outsource them. Have somebody else do them. I'm not going to focus on accounting. Matter of fact, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to take a look at your weaknesses and ask yourself, is this something that I should do myself? Or is this something that I should outsource? So you can put a D for do myself or an O for outsource. Most of the things on my weaknesses chart, I personally am going to outsource. Look, I'm not very good at it, so it makes sense. We just have somebody else do these tasks. And they're going to do a better job of it, and they're going to like it. And it's going to be done in a way that's more efficient. So I can focus on doing what I love, what I'm passionate about, and most important, what I'm good about. All right, so the next thing I want you to do with your SWOT analysis, once you've done one on yourself, is I want you to take and print 4 copies of the SWOT. And I want you to give them to 4 people that you know well, that know you well. 4 people whose opinions you trust and respect, and I want them to do a SWOT analysis on you. Make sure you give them the instructions so they understand what to do. The instruction sheet should say SWOT analysis on me. So it's a different instruction sheet that will actually tell someone how to do a SWOT on you as a buyer's agent. You'll notice that your trusted advisors and your friends may notice things about you that are strengths, that are weaknesses that you had identified, that are opportunities you had no idea of, and you'll be able to take that data, combine it with yours to create your ultimate SWOT analysis. And then we'll be done with our SWOT. Okay, you finished your SWOT. It's time to get on with our income goals. Where do you want to be financially? What do you want your business to look like? When you do this, I want you to look at the one that says business objectives. And where it says business objectives, I want you to look at your business 5 years from now, and I want you to tell me where you'd like to be 5 years from now. And give me some really good broad brush strokes. Where do I want to be in 5 years? What does it look like? Do I want to be, do I want to be a buyer's agent? Do I want to be making 150 or 250 or 300,000 a year? How much time do I want to take off? I want you to kind of write it down. Write down those ideas of what you'd like to be happening 5 years from now. Include things like free time. Include things like what you want to do with your family. I want my kids in a private school, for example. Whatever those objectives are long term, 5 years, I like to take a second and write them down. The more specific they are, the better they are. Next, I'd like you to pull back and say, all right, in order for me to be on track to hit my 5-year goals, what does my business have to be doing just 12 months from now? So in the 1 year section, I want you to write out what your business has to be doing a year from now to be on track to hit your 5-year goals. And what do I have to be doing? How many closings do I need to have? What do my transactions have to look like? What are my activities that need to be going on 5 years from in order to hit my 5-year goal? Okay? So now the next one I want you to do is the short-term goals, which is 6 months. So just 6 months from today, and it's not very, 6 months is going to sneak up on you. In order to be on track to hit your 1 year goals, where do you need to be 6 months from now? So we've done 5 years, 1 year, and 6 months. And we take time to write down and actually visualize what our business needs to be looking like 6 months from now, and we begin making the plan. So 6 months from now, your plan might look like this. It might say something like, I have systems for everything. I have a better understanding of the market. I have 25 closed transactions for the year, and I'm on track to hit my 50. I've got a goal of another 25 for the rest of the year, and I have all my processes and systems dialed in. I'm spending 2 hours a day prospecting, and it's working. I'm following up with my past client base, and they're in my database, and it's on a system. I have systems set up for everything, and it's running smoothly. The next page of your business plan is called personal objectives. Now, the personal objectives is critical to me because I believe that in order to really have success in your life, you must have success in all areas of your life. I like to say that you must have balance with family, faith, friends, fun, and fitness, because when you do so, they have an automatic impact on your finances. So what I want you to do now is I want you to write down your personal objectives in each of these 5 areas. Where do you want to be with your family? I mean, what are some of the goals that you have with your friends? Do you want to increase your sphere? Do you want to spend more time socializing? What are some of the goals you have with fitness? Mine is to get some. What are some of the goals you have for fun or for vacations? What are you going to do for fun? What are you going to do with your faith? You know, what you believe in doesn't matter to me, but that you believe in something does. Be focused on something that you know there's going to be a higher level of accountability that gives you purpose in your life. Having balance in all of these areas has a significant impact on your finances. The more time you spend and the more detail you provide, the greater meaning in your personal areas, you'll find the greater meaning your business plan will have. It'll actually help you fill out your business plan going forward. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Now we're going to talk about hitting your target. Pull out the sheet in your business plan that looks like this. It's a target. It's an income goal. An income goal is how much money do you want to make this year? In the next 12 months, starting today, 1 year from now, what is your income goal? Is it 20,000, 30,000, 70,000, 80,000, 100,000, 500,000? Whatever that number is, I want you to go into the income goal spreadsheet. It's available in either Google Drive or Excel. And I want you to put the numbers in the yellow highlighted areas. When you put your numbers in, your income goal, put your average sales price, your transaction, and your split, it'll automatically calculate for you how many transactions you'll need to do to be able to hit your income goal. I want you to have 3 goals. You should have a goal, you should have a dream goal, a stretch goal, and then you should have a dream goal. We're going to focus on your dream goal. We're not going to focus on your goal or your stretch goal. We're going to focus on your biggest goal, the big, hairy, audacious goal, the one that's way out there, so that we focus on that one. When we only hit your stretch goal, it was a dang good year. All right, so now you're looking at the target sheet. The target sheet, you see several targets. There's 4 circles in the target, and it's really important. Before I get into the target, I want you to understand why we do it like this. I don't know how you remember the story of Robin Hood. Robin Hood was the man who lived in Sherwood Forest that robbed from the rich and gave to the poor. And the sheriff of Nottingham decided that he was going to capture Robin Hood because Robin Hood was causing all kinds of issues and trouble in the kingdom. So he decided he was going to throw on a tournament, an archery tournament. And he knew that if he threw this archery tournament and gave a big enough prize, that Robin Hood would come out, he would show up because he'd want to take all that money and win. So, you remember what happened. So Robin Hood shows up, and he's in his disguise. He shows up at the big tournament, and the sheriff's best archer gets up there, and he begins his archery shot. So he gets up there, and he pulls back with the bow, pulls it way back, and lets it fly. That arrow goes in, and smack! It's right in the middle of the target. Now, who's going to win that? We don't know. So next up comes the man in disguise, which we all really know is Robin Hood. Robin Hood comes up in his disguise. He pulls back his bow, aims it at the target, and releases. As it releases, it flies through the air, and you know what happened. Splits the other arrow right in the middle of the target. And then everybody knew that was Robin Hood, and of course they went after him. Now, I want you to imagine this story as if Robin Hood were to show up at the competition. He's in his disguise, he has his bow, and it's his turn to go next. He steps up to the starting blocks, where he then reaches into his quiver and realizes there's no arrows. If Robin has no arrows to shoot at the target, how is it going to be possible for him to be able to compete? Now, I want you to take that same concept, and I want you to say, if I have no arrows, or if I only have one arrow, what's the likelihood that I'm going to be able to split the other arrow or even hit my target? The answer is, if there's no arrows, you can't. So the solution is we have to shoot more than one arrow at our target if we want a chance at being successful. So what I'd like you to do is, on the Hit My Target worksheet, I'd like you to identify the 4 arrows, or the 4 pillars of income that you're going to use to hit your income goal. So now you've worked through the income goal worksheet, and you've done the spreadsheet, knows how many transactions. Now this is where it gets interesting. With each of the arrows, I want you to build an action plan worksheet that will allow you to accomplish 100% of your income goal in each of the 4 areas. So let's say, for example, the center of your target should be your sphere of influence, your database, and your past clients. That's the referral business. There's whole coaching programs based on building a referral-only business. And I think they're phenomenal. I think you should really do a great job of building your referral business. But if I were to ask you how much of your business is referrals, you would say to me, oh, well, Verl, it's 80%. If your business is 80% referrals, that means you haven't developed the other 3 pillars, and I need you to focus on it so that no more than 25% of your business is in one area or one pillar of income. So you've got your sphere of influence. Now, what are the other 3? What are the things that are on the back of your SWOT analysis that you looked at as your strengths and opportunities? So if you say, I'm really good at prospecting, then I want you to put expireds or for sale by owners. If you want to build a geographic farm that will generate the revenue, then I want you to say, I'm going to do geographic farm. If you've got some financial resources and you want to do pay-per-click advertising and you want to generate more leads off the website, have that be. It doesn't matter to me. What I want you to do is identify your 4 pillars and 4 ways of hitting your target. And I want you to build an action plan so that each one of those 4 pillars has the ability to hit 100% of your income goal. Think about it. You have 4 ways of hitting your income goal. And if you work on each one as if it's the only one, what do you think your chances are of actually hitting the target? Well, they're not only good, the chances are 100%, and you'll probably exceed your goals. And that's the beauty of a well thought out business plan. We have more than one way of accomplishing our goals. The next section of the business plan is the goal achievement system. Now, I've studied sales for a lot of years. Every sales guru, every sales mentor has their own goal system of how they achieve their goals. There's things like SMART goals. There's all kinds of things. Well, what I've done is I've taken some of the best ideas from some of my mentors, whether it's Tony Robbins or Zig Ziglar or Tom Hopkins, and I've listened to what makes them great, and I've created my own system for goal setting. We call that the goal achievement system. Goal achievement system begins with simply setting a goal. So I'm going to have you do 5 personal goals and 5 business goals. Now, just pause for 1 second. The goal could be your contact manager. It could be an income goal. It could be a goal with, getting your geographic farm done. Whatever that goal happens to be, I want you to write the goal down. when you put the goal down, let's just use an income goal. Let's say you want to make $150,000. That's my income goal. Yeah, 150, that's my goal. I want to make 150. So you write that down, $150,000. The next thing on the goal achievement system is right below the goal. It asks the question, why? Why $150,000? Why is that so important to you? How does $150,000 a year in income change your life? I want you to think about this for just a second. I had an agent come to me one time at the end of a seminar. She came up to me, she said to me, Verl, I'm doing your coaching program, and this is the last $2,000 I have on my credit card, so this better work. Hey, no pressure for me as your coach. It better work. So I said, okay, before I take your money, before I accept you into the coaching program, I want to know why you're doing this. She said, I've got to make $150,000. I said, yeah, I understand that, but why? I mean, why? She says, well, what do you mean why? I know I'm worth it. I know I can make 150. I know there's agents out there that are not as good as I am, and they're making 150, so why not me? I said, yeah, I'm not buying it. I said, you came up with a very specific number of $150,000, and I'm asking you why. What is your real core motivating value? What is the thing that keeps you up at night? How is $150 going to change you or your family or the way that you interact with them? She thought about that for a minute, and I remember the look on her face. She looked up at me, and she said, my real why is, she says, I'm tired of telling my children, no, we can't do something because we don't have any money. And $150,000 was my combined income before my husband left and we became divorced. You see, for me, guys, that's a real why. If I know your core motivating value, if I know what keeps you up at night, if I know what it is that makes you want to do better, as your coach, I have a much greater ability to hold you accountable. So with every goal you set, you give me the goal, I want you to give me the real why. Not the fluffy answer, I want the real core value. Why is it important for you to reach that goal? And if you give it to me, I promise you, we'll be much further ahead in accomplishing the goal. The next line on the goal achievement system is excuses for failure. Now, when you think about this for a second, why would I have you identify excuses for failure? I want you to go ahead and tell me right now all of the excuses that you're going to give me when you don't hit your goal. Oh, I slept in, the dog ate my homework, I didn't want to prospect, the phone didn't ring. Go ahead and make a list of all of those excuses you're going to give me. Every single excuse, whatever they are, I want you to write them down. Because on the next line, we're going to go ahead and we're going to resolve or eliminate each one of those excuses for failure so you can't use it. For example, if your excuse was I didn't have time, on your resolve, we're going to start time blocking. We're going to manage it so we have the ability to time block that area. And then we're going to create action items of what has to be done. Okay, so we have the goal, the real why, your excuses for failure are resolved so you can't use it. And now the last part is what's called the action plan, or the action plan worksheet. So when you're done with the action plan items, you make a list here, I want you to open up the action plan worksheet on the back of your business plan. Right here, the page says action plan worksheet. You should have 10 of these, one for each goal. And you have 5 personal goals and you have 5 business goals. When you've created the resolve, you have to break down all the activities into daily tasks down to the minute of not only what has to be done, but I want you to put the date of when it's going to be done by and who it's going to be done by, who you're going to assign it to, yourself or somebody else. And it has to be done in order for you to hit your goals. Then I want you to be able to look at your business plan and see in great detail exactly what needs to be done. In this part of the video, I want you to show here's an example of a completed business plan. All right, the next part of the business plan, now we have our goals, we have our action plan worksheets, we know that our 4 arrows we're going to shoot, we have a SWOT analysis done, we have great balance in our life because we're working on family, faith, friends, fun, and fitness, and we know they all have a big impact on our finances. We have all the things we're going to do. Now we've got to figure out what it's going to cost us. What is the financial part of our business? Included in your business plan is what we call a cash flow budget worksheet. It's pretty self-explanatory. I want you to go through the cash flow budget worksheet and put in what all your expenses are so we know what it's going to cost you to be here. For me, having a great business plan is not just about making money. It's about knowing how much money you're going to keep. Gross revenue, or GCI, is your gross closed income. Net income is how much you actually take home. If you did $150,000 in gross, but it cost you $140,000 to make it, that means you only netted $10,000. You're better off going to get a job at Walmart. So I want you to do is clearly understand the finances of your business. You need to know your numbers and what it's going to take for you to be profitable. We want you to increase your productivity. We want to increase your profitability so that you can have better life balance. All right, and the way you do that is by creating a budget. So this is the sample. If you're using Microsoft QuickBooks or Microsoft Money to manage your personal finances, that's even better. You can pull your reports from there so that you've got a clear understanding of your finances. The next thing I want you to focus on and take a look at is the business marketing plan. What we've done with this is we've created a whole bunch of ideas and a list of things that you can do in your business to develop and create more business. We'll talk a lot about this in marketing ideas during the Buyer Agent Mastery program in different sections. And we'll take you through in each of the series a variety of different ways of generating business. The things I'd like you to do on this one, though, is I'd like you to look at the things you're currently not doing, highlight the things that are consistent with your 4 business pillars. There are things like you're doing your monthly emails, doing quarterly calls, working your sphere of influence, working your top 50, setting them up in your social media, working your sphere of influence. I want you to identify the things that you know you're going to do personally from a marketing perspective and then put them into your business plan. And of course, I want you to account for them on your budget as well. All right, next is the career path, or this is the personal development strategy. Our goal should be to increase our expertise in this industry. I don't want you to be average agents. I want you to be phenomenal. What makes us different is that we're not just another real estate agent. I think being a real estate agent is way too simple. The minimum level of requirement it takes to get your license. I mean, I did my license in 10 days. I did my 90 hours. And when I got done, I thought that was it. Same time I got into real estate, my wife's little sister moved in with us because she wanted to be out on her own. I thought that was funny. And then she started hair school. A year and a half later, and over 2,000 hours, she graduated and could cut my hair. What is wrong with this picture? In real estate, we do our 90 hours or 100 hours or whatever it is in your market, and you're out there dealing with people with the most important financial investment. And what do you really know about being an exceptional real estate agent? It costs more, it takes more time to cut someone's hair. I think we are messed up. That means if you want to separate yourself from the average and be truly exceptional, you have to invest in not only financially invest, but also your time into becoming a true expert in the business. Take classes, get certifications, go to your continuing education classes. Do classes that aren't even required that you know you have a lack of expertise in so that you can become a more expert and seasoned real estate professional. This is Buyer Agent Mastery. I don't want you to be an average buyer's agent. I want you to become a master buyer's agent. Identify the things that you're going to do to make this happen. Decide in advance what your personal development is going to be this year, and let's get right in there and flat out do it. Some of the things I like to do for personal development is I like to read books. I like to go to classes. I like to go do a lot more than what is required. Get your CRS or your ABR, the accredited buyer's representative. There's a variety of things you can do to help you become a true master buyer's agent. I want you to identify them. I want you to schedule them in your calendar, whether it's take a class a quarter or whatever it is, and then I want you to actually just go do it. Okay, the next thing we're going to focus on is your mission statement. I like to say mission, vision, and goals are what make a great business plan. As you focus on your mission statement, this is going to really help you identify what's important, who it is you are, and what it is you want to be. The mission statement, I'm going to wait a little bit until our next call when we talk about core values, because as you identify the core values for you as a business, for you as a team, it makes it much easier to create your mission statement as a business. You have exactly 1 week to do your business plan. I want you to turn it into your coach 1 week from today's call. Once the business plan is complete, we'll mark it off on your